Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Guided by Spirit. I am your host, Richard LaRocco, Intuitive Medium, along with my amazing co-host, who is back from vacation. We missed you last week, Miss Pauline Raffaella. How are you, Pauline?
Hi, it's great to be back. It was greater to be on vacation. And I missed you. I missed you, but everything is good. There's nothing like sitting on a beach.
I totally agree. You work hard throughout the year. And it's good to recharge, especially down by the water. It is amazing. We are here live taking your questions. If you have a call for our question for either Pauline or myself, whether it's energetic healing, connecting with loved ones, or whatever we're going to talk about today, remember, you can call us at any moment at 646 558-8656 and the meeting ID 820-252-05181. It is in the comments or the description, so you can give us a call at any time. Okay, let's hop on board. We got a lot of ground to cover. People have been asking what's going on with this new Earth thing, Richard. What do I need to prepare? So let's start with universally speaking.
Universally speaking, we are evolving, the earth is evolving, and the energies around the planet are so intense, they're causing exhaustion. So yes, and if you are feeling like more than tired, just completely exhausted, if you have some ear ringing, some tinnitus, if you have increased blood pressure, heart palpitations, just exhaustion, there's nothing wrong with you, unless you can go to the doctor and get a clean bill of health. But these are the heavy duty ascension symptoms that we are all experiencing. It's
Yeah,
heavy duty
there's a lot.
stuff.
I've really experienced that this week. I had no idea what was going on. At one point, a couple of points, I just felt drained. I
Yep.
felt fried. I know people have been very sluggish. I've even had people say they've had gastrointestinal issues, blood pressure, headaches for no reason. It's like
Yes.
it's not going to rain outside. I don't understand.
Yes.
um, Little peaks of anxiety, not full-blown anxiety attacks, but feeling a state of anxiousness
Yes.
that is really not warranted, you
Right.
know? So yeah, I get it. There's a lot energetically going on in even planetary, energetically, and society. There's a lot going on, and
Yes.
you could see it.
The,
You could
you
see it.
you can absolutely see it, and we need to stay in the center of our light. And
Hmm.
I will be uploading a meditation to my website called Staying in the Center of Your Light. I'm just sometimes it's a little hard to get my web designer to get things up in a timely manner. So, but that is going to be uploaded so that people can listen to this, and it really will help center and ground you. And that's what we need to keep doing.
So, with this planetary energy going on, this just still the solar flares, now they're talking about another northern lights to come back to the Northeast, which can be seen probably through the mid-Atlantic. So, what do you suggest to really help people and remedy people some of these symptoms? And I know you said center and ground. Is there anything else that maybe they can do to kind of also help themselves or give examples?
Yeah. Well, I know for me, I follow my body. So
Hmm.
when instead of my mind, right, I follow my
Hmm.
body. And if my body is tired, I rest. And even if it's only for 15 minutes and I just lay down and I not even a meditation, I just lay down. I just sit down on the couch or I just lay down and I just do some deep breathing. And then sometimes I find just by doing that, my energy sort of returns a little bit. So I follow my body. All right. And even in terms of food, if there's a certain food that I want to eat and or certain foods I know I just need to stay away from. Junk foods are only going to make you more tired. So you might even eat less. I find I'm eating less these days.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. This whole week, I've literally have eaten probably half the portion.
Yes.
And I don't do sugar. I don't do a lot of the things to cause inflammation, lower the vibration, junk food, things of that nature. And I got to tell you, my appetite has decreased
Yeah.
tremendously. And
Yeah.
I was like, what am I trying to do? Get into a two-piece by July, kind of one of those things. And but no, it was literally I was just following my body.
Yes, and so I think that that's probably one of the biggest points we can stress today is follow your body, and yeah, stay light on the alcohol, stay light on inflammatory foods and things like that, and sugars, because what I know to be happening for many of us is the human body is evolving at a cellular level. The human body wants to become more efficient than it has in the past. Remember, the last 2 years, I've talked about this in my yearly events. We have been integrating the light, the higher frequencies, not just into the mind, into the awareness, but into the physical body. That means the physical body is going to change what it wants to eat, how much it wants to eat, the rest that it needs. And so we have to learn to follow our body because the cells want to become more efficient. So if the cells are more efficient, we might eat less. We might even exercise less and get more results. I have found that that's been happening to me. So the body is becoming more evolved. And I noticed this, Richard, when I was in my peak transformation. I used to be an exercise junkie. I could take 2-hour aerobics classes. I used to pound that pavement. I was an aerobics teacher. I used to do high kicks and everything. We could keep going for 30, 45 minutes, 50 minutes. Well, I can't do that anymore. And I don't, but I don't need to. I noticed that as my body was evolving, less was more. That I didn't need so much dense energy and so much protein, at least for me. I actually needed less. So follow your body.
That's great advice. And again, take care of yourself through these energetic shifts and what's going on. A lot of people don't understand what this is like. They don't understand, they think they're nuts. They think like, what is going on? Do I need to go to the doctor? Am I not well? Is there something chronic? A couple things that I suggest that I do. One, is I eliminate when I do this. You talked on the food component and what we expose ourselves to. So I go no non-toxic, everything, as much as I can, I can, what I put in my body, what I surround my body with. I don't want endocrine disruptors that are going to cause my hormone levels or things, whether it's shampoo, fluoride, anything with heavy metals.
Right.
I'm getting ready to go back on a heavy metal detox and
Yes.
parasite cleanse to
Yes.
clear out everything going, because that could also manifest or present itself as autoimmune, inflammation, migraines, things of that nature. So that food, If I'm hungry, I eat. When I'm full, I stop.
Yes.
I'm thirsty, staying hydrated, I find has been very key. Um, what you're consuming, and then what are you consuming for this? What are we surrounding ourselves with? This is a time where, as the energy becomes intense and heavy, we need to continue to raise our vibration and frequency,
Yes.
right? To go higher up to transcend a lot of these thought processes, emotions, and human experiences, the 3D world, which we talked about a couple of episodes ago, the 3D world, operate and
Yes.
navigate 4, 5, and above.
Yes. So you made a point about detoxification. I
Yes.
cannot stress that this is a time for detoxification. Um, Heavy metals, we
Yes.
do know that there have been chemtrails. We know that chemicals are being sprayed on foods and in soil. And one of the things that the body will need is detoxification. You can do a chelation therapy. I mean, there's supplements, good quality supplements. A liver cleanse you can do. I'm taking a liver supplement, a liver cleanse by Solaray. I just take 1 or 2 capsules a day, depending upon what my body wants. I follow the intuition. I don't follow the directions. I follow my intuition. So we want to detox the liver. We want to detox the kidneys. We do want to be hydrated. We want to remove the heavy metals. Now, one of the other things that I do, I happen to have an ionic foot bath.
Ooh, get all those things out.
Yes, and you can purchase them. I don't know how expensive they are today. The machine many years ago was like $1,000. So they might be very expensive, but there might be places that do it. So ionic foot baths pull out heavy metals, that pulls out yeast. It pulls out toxins in the joints. So those are some of the things that you can do. Now, lastly, one of the other things that's going to be uploaded to my website, I've been waiting 2 weeks for this, is my vegetable cleanse, my vegetable detox. I have a whole protocol to do a vegetable detox. And so just look for it. It's on my website. I did it and it worked wonders. It was a great way to just clean out parasites. Another thing, do a parasite cleanse once every 2 months.
Yeah, that's been a real key for me. I again don't do vegetables, but that is okay if that suits and works for you. A lot
Hmm.
of people's bodies respond to that. Mine just doesn't.
Yes.
But one of the things I use, I am not a paid sponsor, even though if you would like Zuma, you can kind of always reach out. I would love to endorse your product because I believe in the product. But Zuma nutrition. They come in glass bottles. They are highest of quality, non-toxic. I do a parasite and heavy metal ocean trace mineral cleanse. And what
Nice.
it does is if you are going to do a parasite cleanse, please do a heavy metal detox along with it, because when the parasite dies, it excretes the metals that are keeping it going, and then this pulls and removes it out of the body. I'm telling you, game changer, skin conditions,
Yes.
vision, digestive issues,
Yes.
all of these things, clarity, anxiety, depression, all things start, appetite changes, urges go away. If you're a
Yes.
sugarholic and you need a sponsor or a support group, guess what? Start here, and then that will help you, because all of this will lower your vibration and keep you trapped as
Hmm.
kind of like almost a vibrational prisoner. You're going to be stuck and not know what to do or come to your own rescue. So
Yeah.
um, if you guys have any questions on this, please feel free to give us a call, 646-558-8656. Again, the meeting ID is in the description. So please, please, please reach out. We're here. Okay. Pauline, New Earth, shifting of consciousness. What does this mean? What is going on? Because we keep talking about the New Earth. Why is it important?
I love this topic of the new earth because we're all here creating it. We're all co-creating the new earth. And so do we need to shift our consciousness? Yes. We need to change how we think. We need to shift from even old belief systems that we thought were good. We need to change how we think. Our consciousness needs to become unity consciousness. It needs to become peace consciousness. It needs to become something higher. Okay, so it starts with the belief systems that we've had, that we have to change, especially the ones believing within ourselves. All right, that maybe we're not good enough, maybe we're not special enough, maybe we're not pretty enough, handsome enough, smart enough. It's all nonsense. So we have to shift our consciousness out of the lower vibration of who we thought we were into the higher vibration of who we truly are as a collective. As a
Got it.
collective, because unity consciousness recognizes that we're all in this together. And so where we're polarized and where we're separate from each other, that needs to change.
Yeah, definitely. So with that, like how does for the average person just walking around being like, what are you guys talking about a new earth? What are some signs that we're going through this right now? Because I want us to understand what is happening. I mean, real quick, you see times are changing, right? You see more automated systems. You see AI being kind of flooded everywhere, right? Our phones now have AI, Zoom has AI, Facebook has AI, everything now has AI. So right then and there, from what we used to do to what is being created, there is a very big divide coming. And this is also part of this new earth is that things that we know are changing to something greater and advancing. So we're talking about the consciousness, but technology, food, being more processed, manufactured, things of that nature. So what does this look like for the average person, and how can they tell if their life is really being affected by this?
Well, I'm a big believer in not listening too much to the outside noise,
Mm-hmm.
not listening too much to the media. I'm very good at detecting gaslighting and lies and BS. So it's harder to get me to buy into a lot of the things that are being said now, especially in the news. And I think one of the things we have to do is really curtail what we're listening to.
That's interesting. One of the first things I do when I teach people and I mentor, first thing I say is do not watch the news. You want to watch the traffic, you want to watch the weather, but again, that's not accurate on any level. Um, don't watch the news. Really remove all of mainstream what you're putting in your body, whether it's through your ears, through your eyes, through your mouth, okay, what you're sitting in, friends, vibrational friends. I have friends that love to talk about all things that do not pertain to how I operate. So, they want to get caught up in the sandbox of life, and I don't prescribe to that. It doesn't work for me. So really be mindful in what's putting out there. I
Yeah, what you're
remember,
listening to, because
yeah,
because there's an intention behind saying the things that are said, especially in the news. Okay. to dissuade, persuade, influence, gaslight, separate, create anger, division. There is an intentional underlying programming there. And that's the consciousness that we need to step out of. I mean, now that wasn't always here, but in the last, I don't know, 10, 15 years, we've started to see a lot more of that as it has gradually inched its way into our consciousness through the media, even through certain movies, subliminal messages. So if you want to evolve your mind and shift into the higher level of consciousness, we'll talk a little more about that in a minute. You've got to get out of the lower consciousness, because the lower consciousness is almost like, it's like a rope, and it just keeps pulling you in and pulling you in and pulling you down because it wants to keep you there.
Absolutely. You have to remember, the more that they keep or lower or dumb the vibration, the frequency,
Yes.
the less control you are of you,
Yes.
the less confident you become scared, you start questioning you listen to more instead of questioning. In spiritualism, we call them free thinkers, right? Those are the ones that really want to hear the answers, and not always, I need case studies and I need all of this. No, what it is that I have my own mind. I have my own belief systems. And you know what? If it makes sense to me, I will buy in. I'm a free thinker. I kind of march to my own drum. I make the decisions that are best suited for me but I listen with an objective ear to things and thought processes and philosophies. And then if it resonates with me, great. If it doesn't, no problem. I take the best and I leave the rest. Um, my teacher I said to her, I said, you know, what do you watch? Do you watch TV? And she laughed and she says, no, I watch YouTube. I love horses and horse shows and learning about horses. And that's what I watch, Richard. And I said, okay, great. And then come to find out, I'm doing something similar, not horses, but something very simple. And, I stay off of mainstream TV because, again, it projects fear, it projects these things. And we're talking about this to help you navigate life. These are the first steps into separating yourself from everything that's not good out there and raising your vibration and frequency.
Yeah.
This will also bring through healing. Healing is when you don't want to heal yourself, body, mind, spirit, you lower your vibration, because now you have to ignore the energetic pull to do the work.
Yeah. So raising our consciousness and shifting consciousness requires getting out of the old consciousness that is fighting very, very hard to hang on. And within our own programming is we have the ability to critical think for ourselves. But part of the agenda of the media is to remove that critical thinking that we have. They want us thinking a certain way. And so I love what you said. We have to think for ourselves. We have to question everything. And, there was a time when I was very naive, and I certainly believed, everything people said, and that they were all very honest, like me. But now I really question everything. I sit with everything that I hear, and I ask myself, does that resonate with you, Pauline? Does it feel right to you? So I question everything now. And I don't just believe everything I hear. And that's how I keep my mind from being pulled into, delusion, illusion, persuasion, dissuasion, influence. That's how I keep my mind out of it. And unfortunately, we do have a lot of younger people who have been pulled into this.
Yes. And then they don't know what to do. So, all right. So let's talk about shifting of consciousness. So let's talk about, if you want to give the audience, what would that look like? Where do they have to be? And then shifting, and how does that look like? Is there a timetable? Is there a time frame? Do they have to get up an extra hour earlier every day? Like, what does this look like? Because I don't think people understand really what's going on. You and I are talking about something very cutting edge and
Mhm.
beyond the normal consciousness or mainstream media going on right now.
Right. So, the way that it looked for me was, again, getting away from the news and the mainstream, and starting to read books on elevating my consciousness. I started to read books on internal healing, the mind body connection. I started to read books that talked about the soul. All right. And then that's what fascinated me more than anything, was the soul. Who's my soul? We're all souls. What does that mean? What does that look like? And when you start to shift your consciousness, you go higher than the observation of yourself as a physical person, and you start to go higher into the observation of yourself as being more than that. To me, that's the first step, because we can't get to unity consciousness and love and peace and miracles until we start with the self.
Yes.
So it's a starting with the self. You matter. Start looking for books that scream at you saying you need to read me, because they come right at you. I once had a woman tell me, here, you need to read these books. And she pulled out about 5. And I was like, no, none of those resonate with me. But none of them did. And then, of course, I found another venue, another series of books, and they all resonated with me. My soul purpose, personal power through awareness, personal power through awareness. Now you're starting to become aware of yourself.
Mhm.
Spiritual growth, finding joy in life. That starts a shift in consciousness.
Yeah, this is big stuff. So what the first thing I like for you, I always tell people when this starts happening, pay attention. You're going to start almost being very thirsty. Your soul will be very thirsty.
Well,
Your inside self will be very thirsty for knowledge.
yes.
You will growth. You will feel a sense, almost like a sense of urgency, okay? That you should be taking classes, or, you now all of a sudden want to start developing more of a spiritual practice or understanding.
Mhm.
Synchronicity start happening. This is the major shift. Now, we all have free will to go the other way.
Mhm.
If your GPS takes you, not GBS, guided by spirit, but GPS takes you on the road, and it says get off at this exit and you choose not to, rerouting. And then it's going to tell you again and again and again and again. But you have the free will through natural universal law to listen, and on a vibrational level, and listen and get to where you want, or you can choose not to. We all have this choice. But what I'm finding is more people out there are really being called. Their soul is answering the call. They just don't know who's on the phone yet. right? There's something bigger happening. Their soul is saying, I don't know what's going on, but I need to read this book,
Yeah,
uh, experience, go on this trip, have a spiritual awakening. I had somebody random say about 3 weeks ago, and I remember I was like, what are you talking about? I knew what it was. I'm lucky, they were like, well, I really want to go on a long silent meditation of Vipassana. And I said, oh my gosh, yes, I would love that. And they're just sitting there like, yep, that sounds interesting. Where did they even know this? Right? The shift is happening.
yeah,
It's basically taking the old and peeling away like a sticker, a big sticker. You're peeling away from what is no longer serving you and growing and evolving, raising the vibration and frequency and shifting the consciousness to evolve. This is part of evolution,
yeah.
spiritual, energetic evolution. So,
I
this
love
is
that. Yeah,
this is
it
big
started like
stuff.
it's big stuff because I love what you said. It shows up as a yearning for more, a yearning for something new, a yearning for more. And I even wrote about in my book every yearning that we have, whether it's for a relationship, better health, a lot of money, children, that big home, that great job, whatever the yearning is, that yearning is trying to bring you from here to here to here to here. Your yearnings are your path. But what you have to do is see the yearnings in a more metaphysical, in a bigger way. What is this teaching me about myself? What am I learning about myself? How do I need to shift my mind and my thinking in the process? So the yearnings are important. And so I remember for me, my yearning wasn't more for books and studying philosophy or any. I did all that. My were like, who am I? Who am I and why the hell am I here? Like, what am I doing here? So the yearnings were for something greater, an understanding of, of who I am and why I'm here. And so that's a shift in consciousness. Now you have to start to fill in the levels, right? Step 1, step 2, step 3.
Here's the funny part. It's not scary. All you have to do is step up to the plate and ready to evolve. So when you start getting that sense of urgency, I need to start developing, or I want to take a class. I don't know what this is, or that seems fascinating, or all of a sudden I need to, I want to start with yoga, or I want to start breath work, and I want to heal some trauma, and I don't want to keep existing this way, right? Is on a traumatic level or vibrational level. So the first thing is identifying shifting of the consciousness. Neil Donald Walsh always says, if you change your perception, you change your reality. If you change your reality, the world opens up to you, right? So again, what are we looking to do and how does this work for us? A dear friend the other night messaged me, Richard, I'm getting lots of synchronicities, 1111, 333, 444, all of this stuff. I feel like my loved ones are coming into play. What do I do? How do I determine or decipher universal language, or the signs and symbols of the life of what I'm getting, or life? And I said, well, don't worry about that. First of all, I've got a great book for you, which just dropped on Amazon. Shameless plug. Just dropped on Amazon. How to connect with signs and symbols from your loved ones. It is prompted. If you get connected to your loved ones or you want to know, this journal is for you. This will help you track and narrow down, describe what all that looks like, demystifies everything. Get yours on
Fantastic.
Amazon, Hurting,
Yep.
#2, Healing. You will be able to find it. Sorry, shameless plug, but this was stuff that was into why we created this was to help people going through this energetic shift in time.
Yes. Yes. It's the awakening is about seeing the bigger picture, right? Of who you are, why you're here, and the bigger picture of humanity's evolution and getting out of the old paradigm belief systems, the old paradigm everything, the old paradigm systems, because new systems are they're already in the process of being created. And we need the shift in consciousness to say, yes, that's the direction I want to go in. And it should feel exciting. What you said, Richard, it's not going to feel fearful. It's going to feel exciting because something within you is going to be opening up.
And that's the thing is what is opening. So um, this new Earth, when does it happen? Tonight by 7?
It's so
Next
funny.
week?
It's
Next
so
Tuesday by 3:21?
that is adorable. That is so funny because people say like, okay, so when are the timelines shifting? And it's like, well,
Yes.
you know, oh, I can't give you an exact day, time, minutes, seconds. It's unfolding. It is currently unfolding. And it's interesting that we are talking about consciousness, the mind, right? Shifting perceptions of things, right? We have so many planets in Gemini right now, and Gemini is significant of the mind. Gemini is the sign of the intellect, the mind, and Gemini has two minds. Which mind are you going to let operate? The expansive one, understanding who you are, why you're here, humanity, we're all one, all of these higher perceptions, or are you going to say stay stuck in the lower mentality, the lower vibrational consciousness, right? So we learn we don't blame anybody. We take full responsibility for our lives, no matter what's happened. It is up to us to heal our lives. The higher consciousness is about learning to love yourself, getting out of codependence, not thinking somebody's going to be your everything, because even as Barry White used to sing, you're my everything. Okay, yeah, no, that's not happening. And and right, so we start to evolve our thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. Not everybody's our everything, but we can be enough. And also learning how to be self-sufficient and what that looks like. Because as the new earth starts to come about, as we start to evolve, progress, awaken, and we are going to talk about that in another point because that's huge.
Yes,
Um, is that we are going to learn how to be very self-sufficient within ourselves and what we're doing. We're going to be able to identify, heal ourselves mentally, emotionally, and physically.
yes,
We are going to evolve all aspects of ourself. And all this is going to take is a shift in consciousness. Um, Start listening to things around. If it does not feel right or resonate with you, don't do it. Don't listen. Ask, raise your vibration, heal, do the healing work that your soul has been begging you to do for a very long time. This is also part of shifting of the consciousness to go into this new vibrational period.
yes.
Heal, trauma work, shadow self,
Yeah,
right?
don't be afraid of your shadow. Don't be afraid of doing the trauma work. uh, I know a lot of people are, afraid, but this is the ego structure, and we all have it.
Love your shadow self.
Love, and it's true because really all it is the parts of you that don't feel good enough, and don't feel loved enough. And it is up to you to love those parts of yourself, because when we make that connection inward to the self, to the soul, now we can really raise our consciousness and our vibration. And that is so empowering and powerful. It's beyond anything that we've ever known. I even said to somebody, one of my friends, eventually I just want to sit on a beach and radiate love. And she said, well, that's a very nice concept, but you really think it's possible? I said, I don't think you have an understanding of energy. I said, I can watch somebody walk right past me on the beach or anywhere. Okay. And I can tune into their energy if I'm guided to. All right. I never intrude on people's energy, but I'm guided to, and I can feel, see, hear something that might not be right with them. A little anxiety, a little depression, a little sadness. I can tune right into it. And if I'm given the green light by God, by the soul, send that person a blast of energy that can completely shift that person out of where they were into where a better place, and they won't even know how it happened. It just did. But this is how powerful we are. Imagine a collective in living in that degree of love and power.
I mean, I don't, again, people are sitting back in their tryst, but like, what is this going on? This is nuts. This is all kinds of craziness. What are they talking about? I know I'm not happy, but is it to that extreme? There's a big thing going on here. Doing spiritual work for as long as Pauline and I are doing this, there's a lot going on behind the scenes that are happening. There's a collective going on. We are all one. Okay. Our energetic, it's like, think of namaste, the soul in me or the God in me salutes the God in you. My teacher the other day, we were talking about this, came up, and she gave a talk on all of this way back when. Oh my gosh, so many years ago. And I remember the Lakota is Mutakwasain, I am you, you are me. And then, you had the Mayans, all the way back to the Mayans, Lakek Alakien, which is we are all one.
Yes.
So this is a universal consciousness. And as we start to shift, there will be people that will not make the transition because they choose not to get out of their own way, identify, heal, understand. But a lot of people will, and they're being
Yes.
called. The shift started happening, especially around the pandemic. I saw a massive influx of people wanting to spiritually develop. I had a massive influx of people wanting to get a greater understanding, prepare themselves, heal themselves. And what they were doing, and they didn't even realize it, was switching their consciousness at any point.
Yes.
We can literally start living a very soulful, purpose-filled life by shifting our consciousness.
Yes. And that awakening is happening.
Yes.
In the introduction to my book and the epilogue, I talk about the Great Awakening, and it is happening now. People are waking up. They want the higher understanding of who they are, why they're here. They want the higher understanding that we are all one, that your negativity and your hatred plays a very big role in the matrix. So it would be much better to send out love and peace and get yourself into that place rather than send a lot of negative energy out into the matrix. That's how important each and every person is. And like I say in my book, who's needed to make this shift in consciousness, this awakening? Everyone. You are needed. Your soul is needed. Not just 2 million of us, all souls who are ready to ascend to the higher levels of consciousness are needed. So for those of you who are just newly waking up, you are needed. This is massive. We need you. The world needs you. The planet needs you. We need you to wake up, heal yourself, and there's so many resources out there to help you, but get excited. Don't be afraid.
Colleen, I love that. I think that's absolutely amazing. And you actually touched on something that I don't think people understand. And one of this is the Matrix. What is the Matrix? Is it a movie with Keanu Reeves and Lawrence Fishburne? You
Right,
take, and again, this is going to align. No, you think about this. This is aligning exactly what we're talking about. So think about this, and I'm just going to say this. So in the movie The Matrix with Lawrence Fishburne, he had the sunglasses on and he's sitting across from this, Keanu Reeves. Do you want this pill or this pill? The blue or the red? The blue, you go back to sleep, you don't worry. And I probably have them backwards, but who knows? Anybody put it in the comments. Which pill was it? Blue or red? The blue, you go back to sleep, you wake up, you go back to work, whatever it is. Or the other pill, and you can never look back. And your reality will always be different. Your consciousness will shift. Which one do you want? And that's what we're talking about right here in this moment, is
right.
we have a choice of where we want to go. When did this movie start? Back in the early 2000s? They were giving us a foreshadowing to
Absolutely.
energetically what is happening. Wake up, people. So what
Absolutely.
is the matrix, Pauline? What is this matrix you speak of?
Well, we're living here to the best that we understand on Earth. We're to the best that we understand it, we're living here on Earth. But are we living in reality or are we living in delusion, the illusion of life? So the lower consciousness and the suffering is all the illusion. We don't have to live in that. We can live in the reality of the soul, which is abundance and prosperity, and we can direct our lives in the way in which we want it to go. The way that I see the matrix is more of a grid. I see it as a huge, that's how it's shown to me. It's a huge grid, like a matrix, a huge geometrical grid of which we are all part. So we're connected by this grid, this matrix. So if I send out love to the matrix, if I send out peace, if I send out, it's okay to heal yourself. As I learn to love myself, that sends the same permission out to others to love yourself. People who heal themselves from cancer, they're sending out into the matrix, into the grid. I healed my cancer. You can heal yours too. That's the way I see the grid. And that's why our thoughts and who we are becoming is so critical.
Now, is the grid a form of universal consciousness or collective? Is it run under the same thing? Because let's think about this, right? Sit with our higher self, our subconscious, inner child. Really, all three kind of like represent something similar. Okay. Our
Mm-hmm.
higher self, we can heal ourselves, we can transcend, we can let go, we can do all kinds of things, receive our own answers. We're tapping into the subconscious, which basically can do the same thing. Or we place it as the inner child, which is, well, I don't have to be 2 years old when my parents died, and next thing you know, blah, 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 blah. So is this matrix or grid a form of collective energy or universal consciousness that we're feeding and kind of like working? I don't want to say the opposite, because the matrix, to me, I feel like they try to keep us at a very maintainable level where once we shift, we start going against and seeing through the grids or the patterns. We're starting to see everything happen in front of us, and we're able to navigate through the matrix and the grid to achieve a higher state of consciousness.
Yes, yes. So, okay, let me see if I can explain. So the grid is massive and it has many levels to it, right? And so the lower levels of the grid are exactly what you said. We're down here, the subconscious, we've got the wounded inner child, we've got the collective consciousness at a lower level. Okay, well, if I get cancer, I guess I'm going to die. I'll never have a lot of money because we don't make, our family doesn't make a lot of money. That's all the lower level consciousness in the grid. But there's a higher, pure, totally empowered level of the grid. And that's where we are that's how we're ascending. We're ascending up the levels of the grid.
Would that be the same as living in a 3D realm and then transcending to the 4, 5, maybe
6,
higher dimensions?
7, 8, 9,
8?
10, 11, 12, 12. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. 12D, absolutely. All the way up there. That's exactly right. So we're climbing the ladder of the grid. But that's why it's so important. The more people that are climbing the ladder of the grid, the higher that grid, the level of consciousness and light and power of the higher realms comes down here. It's more accessible to people down here. And that's what we want.
I love this. And so just a couple of comments. We've nailed it. Pauline, did you have a nice vacation? That is from your fan Yvonne in Pennsylvania. Also, Barbara, she goes, "You got it right, Richard. Red pill, wake up. Blue pill for sleep." Good. I am glad, Barbara, because that's exactly what it is. Um, it's interesting. My wife's teacher, she talked about this, Ashley. She said when she first started, way before myself, and she said she sat with her teacher and she says, once you start spiritually awakening, which we're going to talk about at another point in time, you can never go back. And it's kind of that Neo moment with Lawrence Fishburne. Once you open your eyes, they can never be closed to the truth
Right.
of what is transparent, what is going on either with us or around us.
Exactly. Exactly. Because when you're connected to that higher truth within yourself, your knowingness, you see the truth on the outside or the lack of truth externally. Yeah.
Uh,
It's
so
it's powerful. So it's so much bigger than just, okay, so we're awakening and we're shifting our consciousness, and we'll talk more in another show about that, where people begin to realize that they're star seeds. I know exactly where my soul is from. It's not from planet Earth. So, the Great Awakening really leads to so much more higher metaphysical information about our beingness. I mean, that was very exciting to me. I was like, wow, that gets me out of this boring, mundane human life. It adds a little spice.
and so real simple to recap this, okay? Um, if where you are in this moment of life is no longer working for you, if you feel a pull to do more of your soul's purpose, if you are ready to start doing healing the wounded person within you, the trauma work, if you are looking to, you are tired of being sick on a physical, mental, or emotional level and looking to really heal, be that phoenix out of the fire, right? This is all part of that shift of consciousness.
Yes.
This is all part of coming to your own rescue and understanding that everything, every single limitation we are experiencing is all a shift of consciousness.
Yes.
Okay. I remember this one thing. I was at work, oh my gosh, probably 8 years ago, corporate America in healthcare. And it was late, and we had this nor'easter come through the mid-Atlantic. and I worked in Maryland and I lived in the north of Maryland. And there was a large bridge that I had to cross to go home because I lived by the water. And I remember this nor'easter, power was out, everything was going on. Well, after a certain point, they don't allow you to go over a bridge when winds are over a certain mileage. Well, we were at 70 miles an hour and they shut everything down. There was no way to get home. I left at around 9 o'clock at night. I don't think I got home until around 2 in the morning. And I remember sitting in this procession of cars. Half of them lost gas, half of them just were shut off, parked. And I'm sitting there, and most people would have thought, oh my gosh, how do I get home? I'm angry. Let me just park. I'll walk, whatever. I literally shut the car off, cracked the windows, and I took a nap. And I remember I had to just shift my consciousness. And
Yes.
when somebody says, oh my gosh, was that horrible? I was like, no, it was great. I felt rejuvenated. I listened to some music. Life was good. What do you mean? You were there for 5 hours. And I said, and I enjoyed the silence and the music and everything around me. Again, a shift of consciousness determines your perception. Your perception determines your reality. And once you switch that, the world will either open up for you or confine you.
I think
What do
that
you guys,
that's
what does our audience want?
Yeah, well, that's perfect. And I think it corresponds completely with so many planets in Gemini right now. Which mind are you going to choose? Which mind do you want to function from?
Yes, which mind? So
Mind.
it's if you want, okay, if you are ready to shift your consciousness, I want you to put in the comments right now, red pill. If you want to stay asleep, if you do not want to do this, you want to hit the snooze button of life, roll over, stay in that comfy bed and not get out of your own, you want to just
Same
stay in
old,
your
same
own way.
old. You want the
Same
same
old. I
boring,
love
same
that.
old, same old.
I want you to comment either red or blue. Red, how funny. I'm wearing red. I love
You
that,
you are.
right? If
And
you
I'm
wearing
wearing white, the light.
It's okay. You have blue. The center thing is, but so right there, and you have a blue marker, right? So you have the blue marker, we got the red. So if you want to switch your consciousness and start living your purpose, comment there red. If you want same old, I'm a creature of habit. I'm gonna live my whole life this way. Comment blue. And that's okay. No judgment. I just want to see what's out there. Um, we have a comment. Tammy. Tammy said, love that story, Richard. Hope to see you in Lilydale this year. Yes, Tammy, I will be there. The church service, I will be serving as the featured medium in Lilydale in the auditorium for City of Light. I will be there July 13th through the 15th. So please come up. Yep, Tammy's already read. Sheila wants to be read. Debbie Starr wants to be read. There we go. We're all
That's
on the
it.
red train.
That's it.
I love it.
So you're either awakening or awakened, and just keep following the yearnings because they're bringing you to a higher place.
Yes, Tammy said, cool. We will see you there. And I look forward to it, Tammy. I have a big hug for you. You're doing great work, and I love your Facebook Lives. Thank you, thank you, thank you for serving spirit every step of the way. So, Pauline, what do you have going on? How can people reach you? And what class? I know you talked about you have a Lionsgate coming up
In
and
August.
everything. Tell them what do you have going on?
Yes, a very big online Lionsgate event on August 8th. It's going to be in the evening. It'll be after we do whatever live show we do August 8th because it's on a Thursday. And I am uploading the Staying in the Center of Your Light meditation on my website, which if you log in and you'll be able to have access to that. There's the vegetable detox cleanse, which is being uploaded. And I'm also going to be uploading a pineal activation meditation, okay, which is the beginning to activate your pineal gland, the sixth chakra, opening it to start to strengthen intuition and other things. So those are just some of the freebies that will be on my website for members. And that is it for me. We do have an amazing guest coming next week, though.
We give a little spoiler alert? I think we should.
A
Let's get
little
him
bit.
excited. Let's get him. It's like one of those Costco samplers. You know, you're walking around. It's like, oh my gosh, that is so good. Right? Let's give him a little something. What do you think?
Sure. So we'll just tell you, we have a wonderful guest. She's a friend of mine. She's voted one of the best psychic mediums here on Long Island. She's an author of 3 books, and we're going to be talking about why good people can't leave bad relationships. It's going to be a great show, and we'll be seeing Cindy Sansone Braff next week.
I'm super excited. I always love to meet other mediums and see and thank them for their work and what they do in serving spirit. And I'm excited about this because this is a great topic. I sit with a lot of clients that stay in horrific relationships, good people, and they can't get out. So I'm really excited for this one. So please, please, please tune in next week, next Thursday. Well, somebody put, oh Lords, that's deep, but I want to see this. Love it. Yes, it is deep. All of this is deep, but very, very necessary and
Yes,
imperative
it's all part of
because
the awakening.
it's all part of the shifting of consciousness, the
Yes.
great awakening that is happening, and the new earth.
Yes.
So for myself, I have a lot coming up. Guess what? We are now going to another state to do an event. I will be in West Virginia, Shepherdstown, West Virginia. I will be there August 10th. I will be coming back with an amazing Pittsburgh medium, Tracy Van. I will be in Gettysburg. I'm coming back, Gettysburg. You've asked, everybody has asked. I'm coming back. Actually, the celebration of the battlefield. I will be there. I think it's July 6th. It's a Saturday. Then be coming back to Long Island, back in Pennsylvania at the Wilbur with another amazing guest medium. So I'm just excited. We have a lot coming on. West Virginia. I'm going to be back in Gettysburg, all over Pennsylvania, Long Island, New Jersey. I'll be out there sometime this summer. We're all over. We're making things happen and creating the shift.
Sounds amazing.
Yes, 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 yes. So everyone, if you need to reach out with Pauline, you can message her. Please follow her on her website. Also, you can go to richardlarocco.com, check out my events. Don't forget, go to Amazon. We have some amazing prompted, more like workbooks, how to identify your loved ones, signs, symbols from the universe, and heal your shadow self, plus all that back there, all the simple stuff. But
All the good stuff to raise your vibration in the matrix. Get out of the
yes,
lower matrix and get up into the higher vibrational matrix. You will be so happy for no reason, just to breathe, just to be alive. That's the result. You're just happy, and you can pretty much deal with anything.
I love it. And also, please check out on Amazon Pauline's book, The Little Blue Room, which you can find on Amazon. Everybody that's bought it, all of our listeners have literally loved the book.
And
It's about
there's a workbook coming out, which will be a course of real transformation. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
Can't wait. All right, everyone. Have an amazing, amazing, amazing week and weekends. And remember, until next Thursday, namaste. The God in me salutes the God in you.
That
Soul in me salutes the soul in you.
beautiful. Stay in the light. I'm sending you all so much love and gratitude for tuning in.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day.